Oh, it's David Brent from The Office, obviously. You're listening to the Five Dudes with Views podcast, yeah? Brilliant. Okay, this week, Billy, Brad, Brett, George and Ted list their top 5 favourite TV characters. Pathetic.
5 Dudes with Views. 5 Dudes with Views. 5 Dudes with Views. 5 Dudes with Views. Yeah!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Five Dudes with Views podcast. You can catch us anywhere podcasts are played. I think we're on Mars now. You know, they're shooting podcasts up to Mars. Maybe you can hear us up there. Tonight, we have a really awesome podcast. We're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite TV characters of all time. I mean, we're all huge TV fans. I mean, nowadays, I feel like TV is so much better than movies. We've talked about that in the past couple podcasts we've done. There's obviously iconic TV shows from the past. So we all dug in and did our homework, and we scoured hours and hours of streaming services and YouTube videos and in our brains to kind of come back up with characters that we all love and cherish. And, you know, guys, obviously throughout the years, we've all been huge fans of television. We've watched endless hours of television. Like, what, in your opinion, makes a TV character an iconic TV character?
I think for me, it's one that is just so unique and different than anything you've ever seen before. Maybe he or she has a certain catchphrase that you hear a lot, or is the wacky neighbor next door, or just so kind of out there that just stands out from the rest of the cast. Yeah, what do you dudes think?
I think something genuine and fresh and just one of a kind, something that you've never seen before. I think some characters are kind of like a combination of other characters in the past, but it puts a nice spin, like, that makes it cool and new. Brett, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think for me, like, the rule was, it's iconic, right? So I feel like these characters, if they made my list, they had to, like, either you hear the name of the character and you immediately know what show it is,
yeah,
or they're like the face of the show. Like, when you think of the show, you think of those characters. To me, that's like iconic. Obviously, it has to be a good character, otherwise they wouldn't be iconic or the show wouldn't be good. But yeah, like, it has to be a memorable role that people remember for me to have these characters on this list. It can't be a obscure. As much as I wanted to put obscure like characters, to me that's not iconic. That's not like,
yeah,
you know, what we're, at least that's my personal rule on this list.
I mean, it's so funny because, you know, it's sometimes really hard for some of these TV characters to come back from a role because, you know, you're seen as one thing, you know, but a lot of people amazingly will bounce back. It can be, you know, 2 or 3 different things. I mean, I'm sure, you know, he's not on my list, but, like, let's say Ted Danson, who was Sam Malone in Cheers. He was Becker. He's now the mayor. He was on The Good Place. CSI. He's been like 10,000 different things. He can kind of bounce back and get around with everything. Yeah, but a lot of characters, you know, they get in a role and then it get typecast. Yeah, and that's all they can do. But you know, it's just the right place, the right time. And, you know, some of these TV shows that we'll be talking about are just so iconic. You could probably pick any of like 10 characters on that show to be on your list. But I mean, it's just got to be like you said, the face, the one that stands out. And there's just so many to choose from over the years. And now I feel like nowadays, especially, TV has gotten a lot better. The writing has become a lot better. And it's really hard to choose from. So my list has changed at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, like you've said, Billy, on the podcast many times, like, TV now is the new, like, feature film. Like, it's just what you can do in television by expanding a storyline rather than a 3-act structure in a feature film is and so many different ways to tell it on streaming sites or whatever, man. I feel like, yeah, TV now is just so much more relevant. It's just the quality has gotten so much better. Was before it was kind of looked down upon, like, oh, this actor does TV, they'll never be able to make the jump to film. And now it's like, dude, a lot of people want to go to TV now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Now it's the other way around, where actual established movie stars want to, you know, transition and go into TV, or like you see that a lot on Netflix or
It's like safer.
Or on Hulu, yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, you get to tell an arc of a character as opposed to just like 2 hours where you're like, I don't really know if that was a good movie or not, like because the characters weren't believable. Now you get like 8 or 9 or 10 years to tell the whole story of a character, so you really get to flesh it out, and plus you make a ton of more money
on residuals.
I was gonna say they make way more money on a TV show. Yeah.
Well, I think for some actors too, it's for feature films that shoot outside of LA or California, like a lot of these actors take these television shows to be with their families because they know, like, oh, it's shooting in LA, or if it's a multi-camera show, I'm locked into a 5-year deal, and I'll be close to my family for this long.
Exactly.
I don't have to like travel to Canada or wherever to shoot a show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's kick it off, guys. My number 5 is a guy who scored 4 touchdowns in a single game.
Yeah, I know who this is.
For Polk High.
Good one.
It is none other than Al Bundy, played by Ed O'Neill, brilliantly played by Ed O'Neill. I mean,
Love it.
That was like one of the first Fox shows that came on television, probably one of the first and only that made it throughout the existence of Fox. True. Everything else pretty much got canceled except for The Simpsons, I think.
I think that saved Fox at the time.
Yeah, I mean, man, I will, they show, I think it's Oxygen or something, that they show marathons of Married with Children, and I'll watch it and I'll still laugh, dude.
Oh, it's
he is
hilarious.
such a goofy, lovable character. Like his facial expressions are so funny. Like he's such a fun character, and they played that show for so long. And him and Peggy Bundy, played by Katie Seagal, had such a good dynamic. Everybody on that show
Great chemistry,
was fun to watch. It was such a goofy show, and I a lot of people identify. We were talking about this earlier, like television characters who were from a different generation, who people are like, oh, this is the best TV character of all time. I feel like this is like our Archie Bunker. I don't really know Archie Bunker, so I feel like this is who it was. And man, such a good character. Ed O'Neill's such a good actor.
I think too, like Archie Bunker, obviously not the most PC kind of humor, but man, it's so refreshing and relatable. It's a dude that just sits down on a couch with a bag of chips and beer and puts his hand down his pants.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like
an everyday dude.
Like what dude couldn't relate to that? And I
agree. I was gonna say
correct me
relatable.
if I'm wrong.
Very.
I think that Ed O'Neill based this off of his real life uncle.
Funny.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think that's what he based the character. And he was I think he was a real football star. He was gonna play
he
for
played
the
football.
Steelers.
Yeah.
For the Steelers, yeah. Before he got hurt or was going to or trained with them. But dude, I love when they do the Bad to the Bone music video. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like he'll go off in a dream sequence. It's like him on a motorcycle. It's like Bad to the Bone. Here we go.
There's like a fan blowing on his face.
It's so awesome.
Oh, he was so identifiable. Everybody, I mean, he had a broken down car. He had a shitty job. His wife, gave him shit when he got home. His kids were terrible. Like everybody, not everybody. A lot of people identified with that guy. And one of my favorite things ever was he always put his newspaper under his arm. And he went to the toilet.
When he'd go to the toilet, dude. That was awesome.
He always destroyed the toilet.
Dude, or the show would start and you would hear a flushing sound and he'd come out of the bathroom with the newspaper.
And the audience would like cheer and clap.
So great.
They would cheer and clap when he was on the way to the bathroom.
No one can see this at home, but just that like grumpy that like face that he made when he'd like flap his cheeks and
There's something left to be said about
like we have to have sex salad and you look at the camera and like just like you said, make that face like kind of like
yeah.
The poor guy worked at a woman's shoe store his whole life.
Right, he's got to touch dirty feet all his 8 hours a day.
And it's shitty because he'd come home and they'd finish on some of the episodes. They'd finish eating. They wouldn't save him any food, so he'd sit there and there was like scraps left, and he's like.
I remember one time they were shaking the toaster to get scrapings out. Toaster shakings. He's such a funny dude, and all he wanted was just like a meal. Yeah, I mean, so many people identified with him. He was such a high school football star that didn't make it. And, so many funny episodes.
Something left to be said about the lovable loser. He was like the kind of imperfect hero.
Yeah, and it was you couldn't make a show like I think we talked about. You couldn't make a show like that today because you could not. The insults that were hurled during that show were like pretty biting, you know, and like you couldn't get away with that today for sure.
Well, especially between him and his next door neighbor Darcy, you know, like the two of them going at the chicken jokes and you know, all that stuff. Oh my God, it's just classic stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Different time.
All right, let's go to Brad for number 5.
My number 5, I absolutely love this actor and this character is Leon Black from Curb Your Enthusiasm, played by JB Smoove. This guy is hilarious. I don't know how many of you guys have seen Curb Your Enthusiasm, but basically Larry and his wife took in some people from the Hurricane Edna. I guess it was during that time when they were taking in people to help save them from, you know, New Orleans tragedy. So I guess he lived in LA. He wasn't even like part of the hurricane relief, but his family moved in. So eventually like they moved out, but Leon somehow like stayed around with Larry David and like lived in his guest house. He basically is like whatever advice Larry needs, Leon provides. And it's the best quotable stuff you've ever heard.
You got to be stepping in that ass, Larry. You got to be stepping in that ass.
Yeah, man, his quotes are so funny. But I mean, I could have easily said Larry David, which is, you know, kind of a take on his his real personality. But man, JB Smoove just like takes that. Like I want a JB Smoove standalone show,
TV show.
Yeah, I do too.
A Leon Black,
dude, so funny. Like any time he's on Curb, like I look forward to it because I know there's going to be something coming out of it that's just hilarious. Just his facial expressions, the lines he says. Oh my God, that is such a good choice, man. Leon is so damn funny.
Yeah, he's great. So yeah, number 5, Leon Black.
You guys watch Curb?
No,
it's one of those shows.
I know
I've
the
only
character
seen
though.
like
I know who he is.
Yeah.
one season's worth. I watched the whole thing, and I've only seen a season.
I didn't have HBO. Still don't.
Me and you, Billy. I'll send you guys.
I love
like
Seinfeld, so I need to watch it.
I'll send you guys a Leon Black compilation.
Cool.
YouTube clip.
Oh
man, it's
so good. So
this
good.
dude
He does
is,
stand up, doesn't he? Do
I know
stand
it.
up?
Yeah, and they used him for like a beer or a liquor commercial. Like
Yes.
It's JB Smoove.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Smooth.
He's in the Crown Royal commercials.
There you go.
I think he might have been on SNL for like one season.
He's got a really funny podcast on Conan has a podcast, and he was on Conan. He wrote a few sketches that didn't make it to air, but just him talking about them, it's fucking hilarious. It's so funny.
Man.
Wow.
That dude, my wife bought me his book for Christmas, and
Nice.
that dude's he's a riot, dude. He's so funny.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. I love him. I think he's so good. Anything he's in, I just want to watch. He's so funny. All right, Ted, number 5.
My number 5 character is a character named Lindsay Weir, played by Linda Cardellini in one of my favorite shows of all time, Freaks and Geeks.
Oh yeah.
She is the lead character of the show, and
I've never seen
if you guys have never seen the show, do yourself a favor. It really kind of captured the whole like 80s like vibe to a T for me before Stranger Things. So the ensemble cast is amazing. You've seen, you know, a ton of those actors.
Yeah.
But she is has a younger brother, and they're the Weir family. And her journey, it only lasted one season. I think it's like 99 to 2000. But her journey in that show for like a comedy drama, like dramedy, is pretty amazing to me, because she starts off as a mathlete, like a math athlete in school. So she's pretty nerdy. She has a friend named Millie Kentner, who is like a Bible thumper kind of Catholic girl. And along, you know, I think it's like 18 episodes, she meets another character named Kim Kelly. Who here has watched Freaks and Geeks?
You know what?
When it aired, I don't remember.
It's been on my queue for so long, and I really need to watch it. I'm glad you brought this up, because I'm definitely going to make a point now to watch it.
Please do.
Judd Apatow? Judd Apatow,
Yeah,
right?
And a lot of people came out of that TV show too.
Yeah, James Franco's in that, and Seth Rogen is in it. A bunch of people. So
James Franco.
The last time I saw it when it was new, I honestly don't remember the show.
did you watch the whole series, Darth?
I probably missed like a couple episodes here and
Yeah.
there, but I watched it when they aired like the first run.
It's very linear,
like-
like how her character progresses, because when she meets Kim Kelly, who's kind of like this rebel, outcast person, she's, pot smoker, that kind of person. Well, she, her the dynamic of the show changes a lot. She basically becomes less of this goody two shoes and kind of gets influenced by like these, less desirable rebel, bad influence, and it's a pretty cool,
like the show.
Character piece.
But I watched it.
And,
it made
really
me
funny.
wanna-
Yeah, it's like, and the music, like they had a hard time releasing it for a while because of the music rights and that kind of thing. So that was my number 5. Lindsay
man, I
Weir.
gotta really check out that show. I hear so many good things about that show. I really have to check that out.
Wonderfully written. It's just amazing how many like effed up situations Lindsay Weir gets into every episode, and you're like, oh my god, like it's another like effed up situation. How did she get herself into this? And how is she going to get out of it? So, but I think it was on Netflix for last year. I just checked it, and it's off. It's off Netflix. I don't know. It might be on Hulu. Hulu.
I think it's on Hulu. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. I'll check that out. All right, Brett, number 5.
My number 5, very popular character, and I mean when you say his name,
Did you just go through puberty?
Number 5.
Brett's balls just dropped.
when you say this character's name, you immediately know what show you're talking about. It's Gilligan from Gilligan's Island.
Great.
Oh, okay.
I loved watching the show as a kid. Still love watching it today as an adult.
Bob
And
Denver.
Yeah.
To me, that's an iconic character. I mean,
Absolutely.
you know who Gilligan is. You know what he looks like. You know
He's
what the
hilarious,
character
man.
is about.
Yep.
And it's one of those characters that obviously, like Bob Denver did other roles before and after that, but obviously everyone always thinks of him as Gilligan, even though the show was named after him, like Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Just besides that, when you think of Gilligan's Island, you always think of Gilligan. Like
He's a great character.
his face, his dopey face with the hat and the red shirt and the bell-bottom jeans, just and him getting like pelted on the head by the skipper.
Yeah.
know.
I love the dynamic with him and
I
Skipper.
love that show so much.
Little buddy.
They had great chemistry.
Yeah, Little
together.
Buddy.
It was hilarious. Like a Laurel and Hardy.
He was
type
on. He was on Dobie Gillis before he was on Gilligan's
He
Island,
was,
wasn't
Yeah, so he was famous before Gilligan's Island. People knew who he was, but
Okay.
that role definitely catapulted him into a household name or face at least.
How many seasons of Gilligan's Island ran?
Only 3.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
It always
Yeah.
seemed like it was so
One of
many
the-
more, though. Did you guys ever get that feeling from watching it?
It felt like 5 or more years.
You know what?
It's almost like Star Trek. Like I don't think there were many Star Treks. It's just so iconic that
Yeah,
that
Star Trek
everybody.
too.
How
I
many?
think also back then, or at least for Gilligan's Island, because it was a sitcom.
Yeah.
I think they shot like 40 episodes a season, so it actually had like probably more like what a show today would be like 4 seasons worth.
Right.
Yeah, they shot a lot more back then.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's such a great show too, and the comedy in it is like it's everlasting.
It's
like-
timeless.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I like it when
I
they-
still watch it.
I like it when they'd get
Yeah.
guest stars to come on. You're like, hold on, how'd the Globetrotters
Wait,
leave
how'd
the island?
I feel like when I was a kid, there was a time in the summer when I didn't have anything going on, I was staying at my grandmother's house where I could watch Gilligan's Island, like Dennis the Menace, the real live action Dennis the Menace,
Yeah.
Leave It to Beaver. And there'd be like all these old school shows that you could watch and just, be like, for like 4 or 5 hours. And like, it was so much fun. Like, I love all those shows. They're very nostalgic,
Yeah.
it's just, they're just kind of goofy,
They're easy watches for sure. Like Gilligan's Island is an easy watch.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I remember watching those shows, like staying home from school, like being sick, and turning on the TV, being in bed, and just being in bed all day, and just watching exactly the shows you just said, Billy. Where it was Gilligan's Island, Leave It to Beaver. What's the other one? The Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
Andy
Oh
Griffith.
yeah.
It just reminds me of a time just staying home and being sick. It's funny.
Bob Denver also seemed like the biggest pothead. I'm sure he was.
He was.
Oh, for
You know.
sure.
Didn't he get busted a few times? Like,
Notorious pot smoker.
he did.
He's like, it's the skippers. I swear.
I swear.
Oh man.
Oh, that ginger though. Ooh. You were either a ginger guy or a Marianne guy.
Give them both.
Ginger all the way for me.
Ginger for sure. Yeah.
Ginger when I was younger, but Marianne now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
As I get
now.
older, For sure.
All right. All right, cool. Okay, all right. Mr. George, what
Yes,
is your number
sir.
5?
My number 5 is character played by James Gandolfini, and it's Tony Soprano.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I love that show, man. It was one of those shows where a lot of the mafia movies were already beat over the head so many times. Martin Scorsese did a bunch of them, and you were like, I'm kind of bored of mafia movies. But when this show debuted on HBO, it blew my mind, man. It was like a show, but it was almost like a documentary of sorts, because there was, at least for the first 2 or 3 seasons, where he would go in and with Dr. Melfi. I can't remember the actress who played that character, but he would go in and have like a therapy session.
So Edie Falco.
That's it.
Edie Falco was the wife.
Was the wife.
She was Carmela. It was Lorraine Bracco.
That's
one.
right.
Yes. And dude,
Good
the
film.
chemistry between those two was amazing, man. And
Karen.
for the time too that it came out, it was way ahead of its time, man. Like that show was great, and that character to me is like one of the biggest. Like, there is no other character or another actor that could play that character besides James Gandolfini.
Never seen it.
Dude,
Sure.
that's definitely a role that guy was born to play. And kind of back to what we were talking about earlier. Of the benefits of television versus a feature film. I feel like you kind of just scratch the surface and you go with you get to see more things that you wouldn't in a TV show. I mean, it just feels like what am I trying to say? The movies are more of a caricature versus like you get to delve into like see like, wow, this dude has problems. This guy's going to therapy. Like,
exactly.
There's such.
You're saying there's a lot of layers to the character.
100%.
Well, you get to see more of those than you would in a movie, where it's just like you got to tell the story, you got to push it along. It's a cookie cutter version of a gangster, and then in The Sopranos, it's like, yeah, dude, that was groundbreaking TV to like see a different side of this kind of organization.
I mean, you saw a guy who was like emotionally, in turmoil.
Totally.
Like his mother was a big problem in his life,
trying to kill him.
And like he had panic attacks,
At least 3
and
times.
that's something that a mafia guy does not do. Like, you don't show weakness.
Exactly.
And the fact that he was able to be vulnerable was a side of a mafia character we've never seen before.
Exactly. Just like I said, it totally blew my mind. There was moments where he was crying. Like there was scenes where he would actually sit in a fucking dark room and cry. And normally, like Brad said, in TV, you wouldn't see that. There was you
don't see that in a lead gangster like crime boss role. You would never see that kind of stuff in a movie.
No.
Definitely
But I think
groundbreaking.
it's like you said, there's not enough time in the movie to
delve into that.
Yeah.
I think it's such a cool honor for Gandolfini that his son's gonna play, the younger version of him in that
the
prequel or whatever they're gonna do.
I'm so excited for that.
I think it's a show. I think it's they're going to do it on HBO. I think David Chase is doing it.
Yeah, it's a TV show.
he's involved.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
I think David Chase is
wow.
strange, but I think his first choice was Gilbert Godfrey.
What? Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah. But I mean, Gilbert, he couldn't put on the weight. That's what I heard.
That's it. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 5.
Great choice, man. Number 4 for me was a character. One of my, obviously it's on my list, one of my favorite characters of all time. This is one of his quotes. If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain. Do you know which philosopher said that? Dolly Parton. And people say she's just a pair of tits. David Brent from the BBC Office, played brilliantly by Ricky Gervais.
Okay.
I don't know how many of you guys have seen the BBC version of The Office, but it's there.
Brilliant.
It's
brilliant. We have talked about this.
It's brilliant.
Brilliant.
I love the US Office. I've watched it, and I still watch it on reruns. But I mean, the BBC version to me is just it's the best. And his character just is phenomenal. So many awkward situations. You want to talk about awkward? People always talk about Stephen Carell being awkward. No, Gervais is like the king of awkward comedy, and his character it's so funny, and just he's so funny to watch. And I could go back and watch it over and over again, and that character to me will always be funny, even though he did that special David Brent, I think it was on Netflix or something. It was okay, but I mean, just man, that Office series is just going to go on forever as far as one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And have you guys, I know Brad has, have you guys seen it?
No.
I did. I've
seen a few
I don't know if I
episodes.
saw it. I don't think I saw the whole show, but I
Yeah.
watched like at least the first 2 seasons a long time ago.
I have
My
not.
brother-
I got to put it up at the top of my list too.
I feel like what he did in that character and that form, style of show was so groundbreaking with obviously like the Parks and Recs, the Office remake, the reboot or whatever, there was just what he did with that kind of show, that kind of character. And Billy and I were watching it probably around the same time, and like I remember telling Billy at the time, I was like, I've never seen, it's not a true sitcom, but it's a comedy, obviously. I've never seen a show like that has such heart and such honest, real moments where it's like, dude, you want to like cry for this guy. Like there's like dramatic, really strong, like drama, like dramatic moments, like like sweet moments. Yeah. Really, really, really awkward moments. But I mean, if
comedy, I guess. I
mean, if Gervais never, I love that show Extras he did, but if he never did anything again, dude, this would go down to me as one of the like best TV shows of all time and characters.
And I mean,
plus, dude, he's making office money for the rest of his life. I mean, it's just big time,
filthy rich. I think that's the knock on the American version. What you just mentioned there, Brad, was the fact that it didn't have a lot of those moments where it was like you said, those crying moments where you just want to, you really feel for this guy. I think that's the knock on the American version, that it lacked that, which I never saw. I've never seen the American version, but I hear it's definitely not the Ricky
they
Gervais
definitely
version.
played up the, I guess, like the awkwardness of him. The Carell character, but he was more of like the goofball. Yeah, and I think towards the end, they kind of played up some of his, like you kind of felt sorry for him, like and you kind of rooted for him. Yeah, the more sad moments, like when he left the show, I feel like a lot of the show was kind of gone. It was
dead, huh?
But yeah, the David Brent character, Jesus Christ, so good. It's so good. I mean, and Gervais played it. I mean, like you have these moments where these people come out of nowhere. Because I remember I think it was a Blockbuster Video when this came out, and it was on cassette, and I was like, "What is this show everybody keeps talking about?" I think we actually had it on DVD, and I checked it out. And like sometimes when you watch a BBC show, it's a little bit like, "Am I going to understand it? Do they talk fast? I don't know if I'm going to get the humor." And then but it immediately it clicked, and it launched a whole genre of the way they do shows now. Even like Veep, the show, like which I'm starting to watch Veep. It's very much like The Office, very documentary style. And I just love that, and I think it's definitely on the list for a reason.
Yeah, nice. I think it helps too that he was able to break the fourth wall, so you connect with that awkwardness of his character. I mean, there's moments where he just stares at the dude. He stares at the camera, and it's so hard to watch. Like he tells the worst jokes, but he thinks they're the best. It's like he breaks out his guitar and sings and does silly dances. It's like, dude, like, oh my god, like you just sweat for him. It's so awkward.
Well, I mean, it also, if you watch Gervais's like stand-up stuff, like nothing is off limits with him. He says everything is funny, and like he makes everything, even as terrible as like the Holocaust was, and AIDS and cancer, he makes that shit funny. Yeah. Like he says there's funniness, there's comedy in everything if you find the right way to deliver it. And it's true. That's so he's still fighting all these cancel culture and people like that. But I just think that he brings, that's what he brought to the character. A guy who can make a really awful thing funny, so anyway.
Great character.
Right.
Let's go to number 4 for Brad.
My number 4 is his character was a general manager, an entertainer, a motivator, a salesman, a singer-songwriter, and a philanthropist. It's David Brent from The Office. I could have easily taken this off, as I do sometimes when I shuffle. I hear somebody say something, I'm like, let me bump something up or move something. But he could have easily been my number 1. This like we just said, man, he's like that Christmas special that they did. I mean, it's like, I think there's a moment when he's like in a car, a taxi or something. It's like, dude, you just want to break down, cry for this. It's like there's just like the vulnerability and the awkwardness and the comedy that he brought to that role is just it's so awesome. There's I think we've said it all, but yeah, David Brent is such an awesome TV character.
I agree.
And I never watched the American version. I watched the pilot. So basically the pilot of the American version took jokes from the BBC version. I was like, I'm never watching this again. Like I've seen it and I've seen it done better. So I think I'm good. But I've heard it's good, but I could never bring myself to watch it.
It took me a minute, man, because I was such a fan of the BBC version. I actually stopped watching after the second episode. I was like, this isn't very funny. And it took me like another year to catch back up. and watch it. And I do enjoy it. I think it's a funny show, but I have problems with it. And like I said, after Carell left and Ed Helms took over,
Right.
to me, it lost a lot of its magic, but I still ended up watching the whole thing. It's hugely popular. I mean,
is. Absolutely. People love it.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like I feel like if those people would go back and watch, like the source material of that
Sure,
and see,
yeah.
like God, I don't know. I haven't seen the new one, or the American version, but I feel like I don't know. You can't beat the original BBC version.
Yeah.
I think the American one wasn't it like the most streamed show last year?
Oh, probably.
I think it was. Yeah,
That or
probably.
Friends.
All right, Mr. Ted, number 4.
My number 4 is pretty close to my heart. I have this one as Johnny Galecki, who plays Leonard Hofstadter on Big Bang Theory. Crickets. I like a good.
I never watched the show.
Me neither.
I like a good story arc, and it's a lot of people would say that Jim Parsons, Sheldon Cooper is their favorite iconic character from that show, but I feel like it's Leonard Hofstadter. There are a couple of scientists that have other scientist friends. So the show actually jumped the shark for me in season 5. I think they made about 10 of them, and that's where kind of the characters didn't really go anywhere for me, but I definitely liked his portrayal of like this kind of awkward scientist. It's not a coming of age, but he definitely has character arc and growth, which was kind of cool to see. And that has to do with a lot of his, work situation, and also Kaylee Cuoco's character, Penny, in that show. You guys ever see the show?
No.
I tried to watch it, and I just couldn't get into it.
Season
Sorry,
2,
I don't.
Season 2 is definitely my favorite. So,
I've seen bits and pieces here and there.
yep.
I never
It's not for
watched
everybody.
it. Never saw it.
It's
It was-
hugely popular.
It is.
It was,
It just I don't know. It never grabbed me the way other people.
Yeah, I liked it.
It grabbed
Good.
Ted.
Oh yeah, I grabbed you, Ted.
I think it's one of the shows I think I always intended to watch it, but I just never did. I don't know.
It was good.
I don't even think I've watched any like sitcoms in the past 10 years
Yeah, dude, I can't remember a traditional multi-camera show I've watched.
Same here.
with like a live studio audience. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever watched any of them.
Do they still make those? To be honest
That's
with
what I
you.
was going to ask. Do they still make them?
Well, pre-COVID they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there are some more that are kind of like coming up to be shot, the multicam, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. See if it happens. So. All right, that's my
Ted,
number
you
4.
mentioned- No. Never mind.
All right, Brett, number 4.
My number 4, there might be some controversy here.
Uh-oh.
It is an animated character.
Oh no!
Oh.
My number 4.
What? That doesn't count.
Cancel.
Get the fuck out.
On a scripted show, damn it. The show, or this character, much like Al Bundy, is kind of like down on his luck kind of character, kind of oafish. It's Homer Simpson from The Simpsons. To me, I almost wanted to pick Bart.
You're
I
disqualified.
think Homer. Homer to me, like when people think of The Simpsons, even though Bart is kind of the main character, I think people think of Homer Simpson more as being the more popular character of the show. And like, the catchphrase "dough" is still used today, 30 years later. Like,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
like in people's regular day vocabulary.
True.
Yeah.
And the character is so like, if you ever watch The Simpsons, it's just there's episodes that are just hilarious, like from beginning to end, start to finish, because he's so dumb, but he doesn't realize it, and it's just it makes the character very like fun to watch because he means well, but he just a lot of times f's up like royally.
Donuts.
and just gets himself in the situations that are hilarious.
And you can relate to him a lot too. I mean, I love
Yeah.
donuts. He loves donuts. I mean, they're great character.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Like
I think you're right, Brett. The fact that Bart Simpson to me was popular in the first, I would say, 10 seasons of The Simpsons, but it kind of shifted a little bit, and I think it switched to Homer.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Yeah, but yeah, Homer. I mean, I think he's like Al Bundy too, where you can kind of relate to him. I mean, he's it's not a perfect life. He's not he's not making $1 million a year. He doesn't have like a great car. He drives a station wagon or whatever. But that's relatable to a lot of people. So And even though it's a cartoon character, it's still, there's situations where, there's heart to the show as well. There's episodes of The Simpsons where there's actually, sad moments or serious moments.
Tragedy. It's
yeah. And like I said, Homer he meant well. Like, it wasn't like he was a dumb a-hole. He was a dumb, he was a guy with a big heart, but he happened to be dumb. So,
Yeah.
But there's so many great episodes. I mean, there's one of my favorite episodes with him would be like the one where he, invents a car. His brother, played by Danny DeVito, is like this big, successful businessman, owns his own company, whereas Homer is the complete opposite, and he wants to invent his own car, and Danny DeVito's older brother, lets him do it, and he just does the stupidest car in the world, dumb. And it's just you feel bad for the guy, but it's great, the humor in that episode.
It has
He's
great
a lovable
writing.
loser.
Yep.
Lovable loser, totally. Yeah, he's like Al. I think he's like an animated Al Bundy, a little more
totally.
PC-friendly, but definitely the same type of character.
I remember
That's my number
I watched The Simpsons religiously, man, for the first, like I said, the first 10 seasons. And I think I
Me too.
right after Conan O'Brien stopped writing it, I was pretty much done with it.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was right around, I think you're right. For me, it was 10th season, 9th season, I stopped watching.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in
It is
years,
pretty-
but it's got to be in 30 seasons
Holy
now,
shit, yeah, it
something
keeps
like that.
going.
Yeah.
That's
I-
pretty amazing.
Another favorite episode of mine, George, you probably remember because it's one of those earlier episodes. It's the one where he finds out if he gains enough weight, he can collect workman's comp or whatever.
He's wearing a moo-moo. I love that episode.
So he eats junk food, and gains 150 pounds.
And he can't wear any of his own clothes, so he starts wearing a moo-moo. He's like a nightshirt.
And then the kids in the neighborhood start coming up to the window, making fun of him. And he can't, he uses a broomstick because he's so fat he can't get off the couch. And he starts screaming at him. Oh man.
I don't know if I've ever seen more than probably about 5 or 6 Simpsons episodes in my life.
Mm.
What?
Wow.
How's that possible?
It's just a show I don't really ever care about.
It
Oh
helped
man,
launch Fox,
the
right?
early,
Yeah.
I watched it. Yeah,
I mean, back in the day, that's what I'm talking about. I probably haven't seen any since 20 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, okay, but that
Oh,
started in what, 89?
Yeah, when it first came on, I
Yeah.
watched it. And then
Yeah, me too.
I
Yeah.
just tuned out.
No, I know. I'm the same way. Like George said, probably 5-10 seasons in. Probably 10. I haven't seen it in ages.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
here.
I haven't
I
watched
checked out after
probably
that.
I think it was on Sunday nights. It was an easy watch.
It was. I think, wasn't it after
winding
Married with
down.
Children or before with Married with Children?
It was Thursday nights when it first started. I think.
But it was.
I
I think it was after. Well, it originally started on the Tracy Ullman
There
show.
you go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
That's true.
cool.
And it was
Yes,
super
yeah,
popular, so it spun off into its own TV show.
Yeah.
Man, they were so crudely drawn back then. They were just
It
it
was
looks
very
like
different.
it's so it's so terribly drawn.
Yeah. But I think that added to it probably.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I honestly haven't watched the show in over 10 years. It was probably 1998 the last time I watched it, but 1999.
All right, Mr. George, what do you got for number 4?
My number 4, man, I went back to my childhood, dude, and I had to go back and look at this guy because this guy I would wake up in the morning and I would watch him before I go to school, and this was elementary school, and that's Mr. Rogers. That dude was
Nice.
awesome, the most heartfelt, big-hearted dude that I mean, come on, it's Mr. Rogers, dude.
I loved Mr. Rogers as a kid, dude.
Yep, me too.
Every morning, like you said, getting ready for school, I'd have him on.
They'd have back-to-back Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers.
Yeah,
where they were airing.
Yeah, that's exactly how it aired here too, man. And I don't think I'd get up early enough to watch Sesame Street, but I would definitely get up to watch Mr. Rogers.
Loved it.
Great guy. I mean, he always had the cool message and just it made you feel good. It's just all good thoughts when you were a kid, you know.
Definitely. He made me feel calm. He was very calm and put on a sweater.
Yeah.
And I love that he'd go to that make-believe land.
Yeah,
It's great.
And he did all the voices, didn't he? Of the puppets.
he did all the voices to
A lot
the
of
puppets.
good life lessons.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it when he took a field trip. Those were my favorite episodes.
He'd
Oh, I
show
love
you-
those.
I
He'd
watched
go to the
Yep.
cookie factory, or he'd go to somewhere where they made
Yeah.
baseball bats.
I love those documentary style factory videos and stuff.
I watched that documentary and I thought it was fantastic. Made you want to cry, but I've never seen an episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh wow!
Shut up.
Yeah.
No, I just always found it so slow. And I don't even
Really?
know if
Loved
I watched.
it.
I was always like cartoons. You know,
I
like,
loved it as a kid.
Me
It
too.
was great as a kid.
Like I would say, you know,
Yeah, I
up
loved
till
it
when
too.
you're like 5 years
I mean, I
old.
get
at
what
least.
Billy's saying, but I loved it
It
regardless.
didn't. It never held my attention. It was too slow.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it was
I
his.
was
I
slow.
think it was his
Yeah.
delivery and like the
Yeah.
But that's
like
that
the
whole-
hand puppets.
It was that's the calming effect.
He's
It was
like,
just
yeah,
so
he's like
chill.
calming,
Yeah,
monotone,
and you're like-
monotone.
I mean, the trifecta
Yeah, I
was
was a- I
Sesame
was a-
Street, Mr. Rogers, and Electric Company for me.
Yeah. Wow, that's how they aired here too.
Yeah.
Same back to back to back.
I think what George said, and Ted said it too, the calming effect, it almost like, it was like a hypnotizing thing where it just made me want to watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
It was great. And then also, I didn't. I think I haven't. And it sucks because I haven't seen the Tom Hanks movie, which I really
wanna
want to
see
see.
that.
It's on my
Yeah.
list, but it's like with everything else, like because of television and your TV shows and fucking Netflix,
Cecil
you can never get
Hotel.
a chance to watch it. Oh yeah, Jesus Christ, that documentary was crazy.
I tried to watch the Tom Hanks movie, but then I was like, cartoons.
Billy's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Put on some Battle of the Planets.
Cartoons. Like I was watching the news the other night, and they're like, COVID, and I was like, cartoons.
There you go. That's my number 4.
Welcome to the neighborhood, Mr. Rogers. Number 3 for me is a character of a show that at first I didn't know what to think of it, so I stopped watching it, and then everybody kept telling me how great it was. So I went back and I watched it, and man, it was amazing. Probably one of the most enjoyable television experiences I've had going through a series, and I definitely want to do it again sometime because it was so enjoyable. And here's one of his quotes. If you don't know who I am, then maybe your best course would be to tread lightly. And that's Walter White from Breaking
yes.
Bad.
Nice.
Great.
Heisenberg,
character, man. Oh,
played
my God.
brilliantly by Bryan Cranston. Breaking
was-
Bad.
Yeah.
He's just an average guy trying to bring home the bacon for his family, right?
That's right.
That's right. Just
Can't
cook a little
blame him.
meth. That's it, man.
Can't blame
Yeah,
him.
I mean, man. I mean, yeah. There's such an evolution of that show where the guy he's a broken down chemistry teacher who can't really support his family, and then the guy goes from being cancer ridden to like this major drug dealer / like entity. Like he's known by one name and like this picture. No one knows who he is, and man, it was such a great evolution and such a great character arc. The show was well done, and it's such a great time watching that show. And that's one that I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's why it's so high up on my list because it's just one of the better shows I've seen in a long time. Zach, what's the guy name that wrote that show? Zach Gilligan.
Zach Galligan.
Zach Galligan.
Yeah.
I think it's Gallagher.
yeah.
Is that his name? Zach Galligan? Oh my
Vince
God.
Gilligan.
I can't believe Vince Gilligan.
Vince Gilligan.
We were
Yeah,
way
you're
off.
weird.
You should have known that, Brett, with your Gilligan.
Right.
I mean, man, such a great show. The writing, the character arcs, everybody on that show was great. I mean, you could, Hank, Jesse Pinkman,
Jesse Pinkman.
Gus Fring.
and like, I mean, we could talk about it later, but one of the most amazing things about that show was the spinoff, Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
So many great characters from that show came back, and you got to see their pre-story. So, I don't know. I mean, I really think that was a well done show, and I didn't know anything about Bryan Cranston besides his little bits on Seinfeld, and I never watched Malcolm in the Middle. But
He's funny on Malcolm.
Yeah.
the guy's an amazing actor. What
Definitely.
he did with that character, wow, just
Unbelievable.
just an amazing job.
Yeah, and he was.
I'll be watching like TV late at night sometimes, like a freaking Murder She Wrote will be on like at 2 a.m. I wake up and the TV's on and I see that, and he's in it. Like he was in stuff back in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Like he's been around a while, but it took him a while to get noticed.
The creator's
great.
name is Vince Gilligan.
Yeah,
What's in
we
it?
got it. Yeah, we got it now.
15 minutes ago.
I think we said, what did we say? We said Zach Galligan,
Zach Galligan. Vince Gilligan.
That's Vince.
Turd Ferguson.
Fergie.
I mean, again, this goes back to what television you can do with a story arc. You literally see this guy as a high school teacher, him getting cancer, him becoming like the largest drug lord in this area.
New Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, and he's basically turns into a devil. Like he's the most evil villain ever. It's
an intricate web of lies he gets himself into too.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like what you see, what he has to do to like tiptoe around his family and how
protect
his
family.
wife sees his and that, but not only that, like how his wife sees the change in him, and he's fueled by this power now. It went from providing his family money to no, I'm getting off on this. Like I love the power of becoming this person,
this entity. Like
I mean
said.
that episode where he lets Pinkman's girlfriend die.
Oh,
it's heartbreaking.
It's so hardcore. You're like, wow, like.
That's when you see the kind of person he's always somehow been inside. Like you let someone die because they were gonna potentially ruin your agenda.
Yeah, that's a huge turning point for his character too, because he gets into. That's when you realize, dude, this guy's he's fucking evil.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, has anyone not seen this show and I just ruined a lot of things?
Yeah, I know exactly. This is, dude.
I mean, again, if you haven't seen it by now,
yeah, go fuck yourself.
Right.
But this is one of the first. I think this was the first show that I binge watched. Like, dude, I could not stop watching.
Yeah.
It'd be like 4 a.m. and I'd still be watching.
Yeah.
I'd have to be at work in like 3 hours, and I'm still watching this show.
For sure.
They definitely crafted this show and Better Call Saul. They crafted it in a way where it feels like each episode has a cliffhanger feel where, like George said, like it was probably the first show that I binge. I could not wait. It would be 2 a.m. I'm like, let's do another one.
Yep.
Like I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode.
Yep.
Nice.
And I didn't watch it live. I watched it, later once they had all aired on Netflix.
Yeah, same here.
Man, it's so and like I'll watch it and it's like another show I'll mention later. It's almost gets better with time. Like there's so many great episodes and it's so well done. It even if you've seen it 3 or 4 times, you're still invested in it. Like it's such a good show. That's the mark of like a really good show.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of guys at work that I talk to about TV shows, and they've seen it like 2 or 3 times already, like over, and they're saying that every time they rewatch like all the entire seasons, that it just gets better. Like you'll miss shit in the first season that you didn't see, and so it's like it's that good.
Like I want to meet someone who's never seen it and like take the plunge with them. Like that's how bad I want to watch it again.
Right.
Nice.
But it's hard because most people have, I think, probably by this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
My 6-year-old daughter and I are watching it now. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Have you seen it, Brett?
Yeah, I watched it when it was still like airing. I think
Ted, you haven't finished it, have you, Ted?
What's that?
When it first aired and then caught up.
Oh, okay. Ted, you haven't finished it yet, have you?
What?
Did you finish?
I haven't finished it. You called me out. I haven't finished it.
Wow. That show aired 32 years ago, dude. What the hell?
All right.
Ted's too busy breaking wind.
Oh,
that show is.
I'm trying not to listen to what you guys are saying because you're saying spoilers.
He's too busy watching Freaks and Geeks.
Like, every time a new season came on, AMC would replay the previous, like even up to the very end of the show. Every time the new season started, they play every episode, the entire show leading up to the new season premiere. That's how I like watched it. I think was actually on AMC when they do that.
I mean, in a weird way, I'm kind of envious of Ted because. Like, you haven't seen all of Breaking Bad. Like, I wish I could go back and watch. I love Better Call Saul. So it's like, you can actually watch all of Breaking Bad and all of Better Call Saul right now. Like, it's such a, like,
that's cool.
Better Call Saul is such a great show.
Yeah, I haven't seen that show. I really want to see that. I want to start watching that show.
Just to remind you guys.
I know.
Just to remind you guys where I'm at in that show.
Oh, boy.
Gus just died. So it's the end of season 4. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you just spoiled that for all our listeners.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, he comes back as a zombie.
I'm kidding. Dude, what a death scene that was. Like,
yeah, right.
What
amazing.
Great, crazy scene.
And how awesome that in season 5 he comes back as a zombie. Oh my God.
We got walkers.
Oh yeah. Carl, get him.
Carl.
All right. Oh yeah, baby. All right, Brad. What do you got for number 3?
My number 3 is a David Chase created character. Like George said, it is Tony Soprano.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, baby.
And
we gotta repeat.
again, like it's a show that I watched when it first aired, and I I think I want to go back and watch it again. I haven't seen it since it first aired. I mean, I hate to do repeats, but dude, I can't take these characters off my list. They're so awesome.
I know, man. This list was really hard for me because, again, there's so many great TV characters on this. It's unreal.
Well, I mean, there's so many good characters in the Soprano. I love Paulie. I love him. He's so great.
Oh my god!
And
hilarious.
And even Christopher is such a good character.
The chemistry
there's so
between
many
those
great
two
characters
guys,
in the show.
Right? The chemistry between Chris and Paulie is hilarious, man.
I mean, that one episode where they chase that Russian in the snow and get caught with ketchup packages.
The best.
Brilliant. Probably one of the best episodes of television ever.
True story.
Yeah, that to me is the best episode, man. They're just shaking out there. Oh, it's so great.
Sorry.
And Edie Falco, great, just so awesome.
Yep.
Camilla Soprano
would have easily made my list. Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. So Tony Soprano, number 3 for me.
Cool.
Great show.
I've seen that show.
All right, Mr. Ted, number 3. What's up?
My number 3. I got a good quote for you. To the moon, Alice. Bang, zoom. You can't say that anymore. Ralph Cramden from The Honeymooners.
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters. Is an old timey show. It's be on reruns all the time, and it actually ran for 1 season, which I did not know.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
But it had 39 episodes.
Okay,
it was
there you go.
One of those extended seasons.
That's like 3 seasons now.
Just another lovable loser. Bus driver in Brooklyn. Just loved his character. Loved the supporting cast as well. Around him. Art Carney. So. Just the kind of predicaments that he'd get himself into. He always have these get rich quick kind of schemes and try to get Alice on board and stuff like that. But I love Ralph Cramden. Just a great character. Big teddy bear.
And man, and the most simple, everything took place in their kitchen.
Yeah.
It was like the simplest set. They barely ever got out of that home that apartment they lived in. I mean, I love that show. There was so many, my grandmother and my mom, we used to stay up and watch that show. And I remember, they had that black and white, and the Honeymooners, and it'd be Ralph Cramden's face and the moon.
Yep.
Yeah, that's song,
great,
man.
yeah.
And I love, just the Jackie Gleason was such a good actor. He could go from one extreme to another in nothing, flat. And the wife, I can't remember her name. She was so good. Yeah. Audrey Meadows, was that her name?
Meadows.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Art Carney as
Ed Norton. Yeah.
Ed Norton.
Hey,
so
Norton.
Good.
Hey,
so such a good show. I mean, Ralph Cramden was such a great character.
I always wanted to see Norton's apartment, and you never got to see it. That's absolutely so true. I think they went down to the street sometimes, or maybe a restaurant or something like that.
Club. They went to the club.
I think they played pool. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
I mean, wasn't every episode it was so hyped up and such a rage filled, and then at the end it was Ralph coming back down to earth and going, "I'm sorry, babe.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." And then he'd apologize and be like, "Baby, you're the greatest." And that was it. Every episode was exactly the same.
Yep. He'd fly off the handle.
That character inspired. So, Fred Flintstone is basically.
Sure.
Yep.
I was going to say, the Flintstones always felt like the Honeymooners to me.
It was. I mean, it was totally inspired by. It was like an animated version. But even what's his name? John Goodman from Roseanne is basically a Ralph Cramden on that show.
I can see
very
that.
similar.
Yep.
A more modern take on it. But
yeah.
I watch the show. It's on every week on, I think it's MeTV, Sunday nights.
Yeah.
2 episodes.
MeTV.
So still watch it. Yeah.
It's still so good. I mean, his facial expressions, so good. Such a good actor.
Like you said, he could he could do he was a good actor. He could go from like being angry to like laughing or sad, like
embarrassed.
Like
he epitomized like tail between his legs, you know, in every episode.
Has anybody go ahead?
Do you remember the episode where he's like he buys like a shop vac, like a vacuum, and then he's trying, it's obviously like it's a busted item, like it doesn't work, and then he's trying to like sell it to his wife, like sell the idea that he got it,
right, like a busted,
and it like totally like doesn't work, and his face in that whole entire scene is hilarious. Like,
yeah,
it's just like Because he's realizing that he got taken, but he doesn't want to admit it.
Just quickly, one of my favorite episodes is, do you guys remember the one where he's going on like a quiz show of like a name that tune? And
Yes.
and Norton has to help him like learn the song, but Norton can't play the song until he does like a warm-up song. And I guess that's the song that Ralph has to guess, and he never learned who that was by. It was hilarious.
Did you ever see the movie The Hustler, where he plays Minnesota Fats, the pool player?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah. He's such a good actor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Darth Brett, number 3.
Number 3. I'm actually a little surprised he hasn't been mentioned, but maybe he's higher up on everyone's list. It's Cosmo Cramer from Seinfeld.
Nice.
I love this character. I love Seinfeld. I mean, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. And that's one of those shows a lot of people probably would say George Costanza was their favorite character. But as much as I loved him, Kramer to me was just especially the later seasons, like probably season 4 and on, 3 and on, where he became more, they started focusing on him a little bit more.
Wow.
I just him coming through the door and like all the stupid stuff he'd like, situations they get in because of him, like the bottles, the recyclables or whatever, and the highway. Like he's just the Kenny Rogers Roasters episode.
I love Kenny Rogers Roasters.
That character still, I bust out laughing out loud when I still watch Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Even though I've seen the episode probably 20 times. Like,
I mean, Kramer. I mean, all of those people on the show had such like extreme things that they got into, but Kramer was the one that got into the most like mischievous things, like the Keith Hernandez spitting the loogie, and like
back into the left.
The Merv Griffin set.
Oh,
like, right at the dumpster. Like
that might be one. That might be my favorite episode of the show. That Merv Griffin show episode, so great.
Wasn't there an episode where like he would like wash his dishes in the shower to save time? Like
he made a salad too.
Yeah.
Like vegetables floating at his feet and shit. Like
Gross,
it's like gross.
But do you guys remember like the first maybe even second seasons? Kramer was weird. He was like he wasn't like the come through the door fumbly kind of physical act character. He just was like this strange kind of dude who lived across the hall.
He's like a caveman. The first like season, he's like a caveman. Like he talks and he like you said, he's totally different character.
Yeah, they definitely didn't hit their stride till like season 3 or 4, probably season 3. I mean, but then after that, it was off and running. Like everything was just, I mean, man, such great characters, such great writing, the actors they nailed every role. I mean, you could probably go with any of those characters and make the list.
That's what I was saying. Like a lot of people probably would pick, George or Jerry or Elaine.
No, I go Kramer.
Yeah, I don't know why I just identified with him more than I did the other characters. But
yeah. All right, well, George, who you got for number 3?
My number 3 is also from the Breaking Bad TV series, and it's Jesse Pinkman.
Nice.
Okay.
Now that guy, I mean, how lucky is this kid, dude? He's just some kid that's in the same class or is one of Walter White's students, and he gets tagged to become his like sous chef, if you want to call it that, on baking some meth. Great fucking character, man. Like this guy, it's weird how in the beginning he's just some dumb kid who just out of sheer luck decides to pair up with this guy, and then to become almost like his second in command in the meth industry.
Bitch.
Did you
I
see
love
El
that
Camino?
character.
Yes.
It was so good to revisit that character again and wrap some things up.
Yeah, because you're right. Because I felt like in the TV show there was they kind of left him almost high and dry. Like you were kind of like left. What the fuck happened? Like that's it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
sorry, Ted. Damn it!
I won't remember.
Ted keeps making faces at me like "fuck you."
I won't remember.
All right,
So-
all
Yeah, I
right.
mean, the Jesse character was definitely the one I think a lot of people sympathized with because he was,
100%,
got into the
man.
situation and he got the worst of everything. His girlfriend, his other girlfriend, and the kid and just everything. He had the parents who didn't love him. you know, and just so much shit this kid had to go through in order just to make it.
And it's funny because everyone, you kind of side with Walter White in the beginning and you feel bad for him. And then when his arc flips, now you're like, dude, I feel sorry for this kid, man. Like every time he tries to do, like, make a deal or do something, it fucking fails miserably on him. And it's like, God damn.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's such a great role, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and now these characters are so iconic.
Perfectly
I mean, he
acted.
just goes everywhere and says, bitch, and everybody's like, Pinkman, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, what a catchphrase that is. So, you know,
It's a role of a lifetime.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody else playing that role. It's just
Totally
iconic.
He hasn't been in a bunch
it's
of
also
stuff either. Besides,
I was going to say, did it kind of hurt his acting career?
To be honest with you, I think it did.
He really hasn't been in much.
No.
I think
he was
has,
in, like, in a
but-
couple movies, but it was just he was a side character, maybe, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in that Eye in the Sky movie, but that might have been during Breaking Bad. I can't remember if that was after.
Right.
He's been in stuff that's just under the radar.
Totally. But like Brad was saying, that El Camino right after, it kind of closed his chapter on that in Breaking Bad. It kind of redeemed him in a way a little bit, I thought.
And again, like a thing that like could have gone really badly, but it was really good. El Camino, you know, I mean, the whatever venture they go with in this Breaking Bad world, as far as Better Call Saul or El Camino, they've all been really good choices and really well done.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sure they're going to end Saul really well. I think this is his last season coming up. This next one. They're going to split it into parts, I think. But, you know, just you gotta look behind the scenes, man. These guys knew what they were doing.
Totally.
You know, they wrote these characters really well.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to Better Call Saul. I haven't watched it yet, but it's definitely on my list.
You'll love it, man. You'll love it.
I'm looking forward to them tying that series to Walking Dead. So.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think the blue eye shows up in The Walking Dead, right?
There you go.
It's a rumor.
There was no. I mean, there is something in there that Jesse says. No, maybe it's Daryl says something about a drug dealer. Like, there's a conspiracy online that somehow Breaking Bad plays into The Walking Dead.
Really, I gotta see this.
Yeah,
bitch.
Were you kidding? Were you kidding, Ted?
Well, half kidding. Yeah, but I know it's like a
look
rumor,
it up.
so.
There are like little lines drop. I think that Daryl said one time about a drug dealer coming over with whatever he cooked. You know, that blue ice or whatever Walter White cooked.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they don't know
way-
because it's a two series on AMC. Is that it's kind of like a joke too. So who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Like an inside joke for AMC.
Wouldn't that be great if like Walter White's meth created the zombie apocalypse,
kinda
like
cool.
it affected people?
Just ruined the finale of Walking Dead series. You just ruined it.
Yeah, it would make.
I mean, that was it.
It would
As of right now, that's the only way you could ever redeem The Walking Dead to make it good again. Is
I
to
was
hire
just-
the Breaking Bad writers.
I was just gonna say that it'll
like
maybe
fire everybody and hire those writers.
it'll make The Walking Dead watchable
right.
again.
I keep seeing promos and I'm like, I don't even care anymore. Like they're like, oh, if you have AMC Plus, you can watch it a week ahead. I'm like, I don't care.
Who cares?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Who cares?
That was me 3 years ago. I gave up.
They should hire Zach Galligan.
Yeah, maybe that'll be his pseudonym. He could just go, I'm Zach Galligan. I'll write this show.
It's his brother, dude. It's Vince's brother, bro.
All right. Number 2 for me, Brett was just talking about this, Seinfeld, but I'm going to go with a different character. I'm going with Costanza.
Nice.
Costanza.
Oh, way to.
I mean, I like I said, any character on that show to me could be on this list, but I just think that George's journey has been so much of a just tumultuous like ride that he's so funny to watch. He's the character who has all sorts of stuff going on in his life. I mean, sleeping in desks, you know, working for the Yankees. His wife dies from licking envelopes. I mean, you know, trying to get with Marissa Tomei. I mean, you know, it's so many great things. He's such a well-written character. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's based off of Larry David. So I think, you know, and I don't know how easy it's been for Jason Alexander to get work after that because everybody sees him as Costanza. I mean, I just think it's such a well-written character, and it's high on my list for a reason. I mean, it's just Seinfeld's one of my favorite shows of all time, if not my favorite of all time.
Me too. I almost put him on my list as number 5, and then I was like, should I really put 2 characters from the same show? Like, I was kind of like torn on that.
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
Could have.
There's no rules.
I wish I would have, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because George. I mean, he's my second favorite character of that show for sure. I mean,
Yeah. I saw something on Instagram the other day. They were selling pictures of him on the couch spread out, where he. And then it was the what was that? What was the phrase it said? The picture of lust or
I don't remember
the timeless art of seduction.
Where was that?
It was on Instagram, like the picture of him on the couch that he gave to he was trying to give it to the girl. And the guy got it, but the timeless art of seduction. Yeah. So good. Such a good character. Shrinkage! It was shrinkage! Shrinkage!
He's the one that says the pretzels are making him thirsty, right?
That's Kramer. That's Kramer.
Okay. I never cared who does that line.
He got hired. Remember he did the Frogger? He was trying to do the Frogger machine.
Yeah. And it's got his record on there. You can't let it get deleted or erased.
Yeah. The other night I was watching an episode where his wallet is so full. He had so many receipts in there, and then everything blows in the wind. And I mean, just so many damn good show. I mean, so many good episodes of that show. It's such a timeless character. Anyway,
I love the one where he's. I think it's one of the earlier seasons, like season 2, and he like goes on the date with a girl. He's like trying to get unemployment, and the lady won't give him it unless he goes on a blind date with her daughter. Do you remember?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And then I think he takes her to like McDonald's or something. Like they go to get McDonald's drive-through. Like it's just like classic George.
So many good. He's the guy who I kind of feel like we all identify with. We all like, put our fucking step on our foot a lot. We all just kind of do dumb shit. But like, he's the guy on that show who was the guy who did all that. He ate out of the trash.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the guy who double dipped. He's
these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Some clown from the 60s.
Oh, Lord. All right, Brad, who you got for number 2?
My number 2 is Kramer, but since it's been said so many times, I want to talk about a different Seinfeld character, which can be my number 2 as well, is Frank Costanza.
Yes.
Played by Jerry Stiller, the creator of Festivus.
Yep. Yes.
Creator of The Man's Ear. And Did You Stop Show With My Wife? Dude, he's such a funny character. Like when he would go from like calm to fit of rage so quickly.
Yeah, hilarious.
Again, like this sitcom is like once in a lifetime kind of thing. It's a show about nothing. The characters are just like they all could have had spinoffs of their own.
Sure.
But even a little, like the Soup Nazi and Bryan Cranston, the dentist, and like just so many characters on that show are so damn funny. What a time!
See a reboot, or not a reboot, but like, I guess a reboot, yeah, where they come back.
Well, they did one.
Well, it was on Curb Your Enthusiasm, which was to get Larry David's wife back, which is a hilarious way to kind of like feed that appetite of everyone wanting to see Seinfeld again. I mean, if they did one of those like 6 episode like short,
like a quick short thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you just don't want to like. I don't think it'll never happen, but I feel like you just might taint the legacy of that show. Like, how are you going to make it better? I mean, but look, there's plenty of things to talk about with the world going on today, and they could shake up, the kind of comedy they do. But I feel like just leave it alone. It's too good the way it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see it. I would not want to see a reboot. I think they just need to stop it. I mean, the Curb stuff was really funny, and I think that. They're all older. I don't know if it would work as a sitcom anymore. I think that they should just nip it in the bud. I think we're good.
It'll never happen
now, but I remember 10 years ago, I used to want them to just come back and do the one episode. The one episode they never shot. They built the set and they had a script for it, and then they last minute decided not to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
what was it about?
It was called The Gun, I think. It was too controversial, they thought. Maybe could bet that it's easy to get a gun or buy a handgun. But I always wanted them to actually shoot that episode. I think it's too late now, but maybe 10 years ago it could have still happened. But
yeah, I mean, There was when I was living in LA before I moved out to Arkansas, they brought like the Seinfeld set somewhere in Hollywood where you could go and like go through the door of Jerry's apartment. Like, it had Jerry's apartment there. And I was like, man, I wish I could have done that. That would have been so much fun. I mean, they brought the Saved by the Bell, the Max, and people could go eat there and, hang out in the hallway. But yeah, the Seinfeld set would have been a lot more fun.
Yeah, totally.
I always was very curious. Every time I watch Seinfeld, I'm always trying to figure out what VHS cassettes are in that little bookshelf he has behind the table.
Yeah, I don't remember. Does it change like season to season?
It might. I know that they said that they changed out the cereal.
Yeah.
in the cabinet, but the VHS is I'm not sure.
Dude, I always remember seeing a VHS of Child's Play on there. I was like, oh my god, it's Chucky.
I used to love the fake movies in the show too. When they go to the movie theater, there'd be like fake movies they'd watch.
Yeah,
dude, remember the episode when Kramer's bootlegging movies with his big camera?
They hire that dude to do it. Jerry hires the dude then to do it, and like he's like critiquing him. Like,
yeah, isn't that one movie that keeps playing? It's like Rochelle or something.
Rochelle.
What about George and Ted? They have been pretty silent.
I don't think they watch Seinfeld.
No, I never watched it.
You guys don't watch Seinfeld?
I'm speechless.
You've never watched Seinfeld?
Not one episode. No, guilty. Nope.
Are you not a Seinfeld fan?
No, I never got into the show. I never watched an episode or didn't.
Oh man,
Never got into it.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, but you maybe just not start from the beginning. Just watch like one that's like a famous episode. See if you like it,
and then go from there.
I haven't watched it. I bought the box sets within the past year. I have yet to watch them.
Oh, there you go, Ted. We could have a sleepover.
Hold
and
on.
watch them.
You've never seen an episode of Seinfeld?
I've
Ted?
seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but I have not seen the whole series.
Wow.
All right, sleepover at Ted's house. We're watching them.
All right, party at Ted's.
Catching up to do.
All right, speaking of Ted, number 2.
My number 2 was a character from the old Hal Roach 1930s comedies. Most people would say that their favorite character from this series is Alfalfa, but mine is Spanky
Oh my God.
McFarland.
Oh.
His real name is George McFarland, and he was a character actor from the series who was casted when he was 3 years old. And there's a myth that the Spanky nickname was because he was spanked a lot, but it's not. Actually, Spanky, I think, was another nickname in another language, I believe, but it means like smart, intelligent kid. But as most of you know, I'm a really big Little Rascals fan, Our Gang comedies.
Yeah.
And
I
have them on the box set.
We used to watch those all the time, man.
Go ahead, Brett.
Nice.
I loved them as a kid too.
Yeah.
You know what? You mentioned you had a box set, Ted. Are those like the full, like, complete episodes? They're not like edited or anything?
They are the full versions.
Nice. Because they used to show
I should
the
pick that
edited
up.
version on Channel 5, I think. They would cut them down into like little serials. I remember that.
Yeah.
And there
like,
were
some stuff
there
they-
were groups before Spanky's group, and they're on that box set too. So it's like a good watch. I mean, it's pretty crude, technologically speaking, but I was a kid when I watched them. I loved all the shenanigans they got into because they were, pretty much poor kids.
You were
from the
watching them
ghetto.
as they were airing, though, weren't you? Back.
Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah. I remember.
You get the high sign, my man. High sign.
I remember waking up early on Saturday mornings to watch the little
Yeah.
Yes.
more cartoons.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, we had them on at school.
I think I mostly identify with Froggy.
It's great.
Froggy.
Dude, Ted, my favorite episode was the one where Spanky, like, I can't remember what he does, but he gets like basically his mom sends him to his room for the day,
Grounds them.
so he can't play, and then he like falls asleep and he has a dream where he finds like the pirate treasure.
That's
I
a
used to
pretty
love
rare episode too. Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that episode. That's my
Yeah.
favorite episode.
Yes.
Is that on the DVD or the
Oh,
box set?
I'm sure it is.
I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got to break out
I mean,
that box set.
I used to watch that show all the time. I don't even know what channel it came on, but you're right. I feel like it came on early in the morning. It was like a package deal with other shows.
It might have
And
been like WGN or something.
Yeah, I loved it. I love the Little Rascals. That's such.
Yeah.
I love the Three Stooges, the Little Rascals, Laurel and Hardy.
Yep.
I love
Yeah.
all of those old school like comedic shows, and
Yeah.
I think I have such a fondness for that time.
Yeah.
Yes,
Me
definitely.
too.
Different kind
It's
of
fun to watch.
comedy and different kind of entertainment, but definitely entertaining.
it's for me. It was always fun to watch those too because they were shot like here in L.A.
Yeah.
And like seeing L.A. like in the late 20s, early 30s, totally different. Like it's fun to watch it just for that reason alone. Like when they were on location.
I just read today that the old Hal Roach studios are in Culver City.
Which little rascal did everybody want to be?
I liked Alfalfa. I liked him a lot. He was funny.
Yeah.
It was probably Spanky or Alfalfa.
Spanky's pretty good. Yeah, Alfalfa, probably Alfalfa.
Yeah, I'd say Froggy.
I like Froggy too.
Froggy. There was Buckwheat, Darla.
Yeah.
Stymie. What about Stymie?
There you go. Holy shit.
Everybody just wanted to be the Petey the dog.
Love Petey, that pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brett, what you got on number 2?
My number 2, Lieutenant Columbo.
Oh,
Of course.
I was waiting for that.
Yes.
Ted?
I mean, you guys know I love Columbo.
Oh, for sure.
It's a running gag.
Oh, yeah.
Where were you? Where were you on the night of
There it is.
October 12th,
He's doing the eye, too. Look at the eye.
1972?
Just one more thing.
Yeah, I grew up watching that show. Still watch it today.
There's some great Columbo episodes,
Mhm.
man.
A lot of people
Yeah,
were on that TV show, too.
It's kind of like, even though it was popular at the time, I think now it kind of goes under the radar.
Mhm.
Like it's kind of forgotten in a way. But
Okay.
there's some really good episodes in the original, the 1970s run of it. And Peter Falk was like a great actor. Like he had great, even though the show was a drama, crime show. He had like great comedic timing. Like he was great at doing like humor, like funny scenes, even though the show wasn't a comedy at all. And I think that's what made the character like even more likable because he could get in these situations where it was fun to watch and like funny, even though it's a show about murder, homicide.
I haven't seen Columbo ever, but
There's some good ones.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
got
if I've
respect
ever
for Peter
seen it.
Falk.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, like I think you were gone, Billy, for a second. I was saying like I feel like it's one of those shows that kind of is forgotten a little, but like highly underrated now. I feel like today, and
But they'll probably bring it back and put Queen Latifah in it,
What?
As Columbo.
like the
I can
Equalizer.
check it out. I'm sure, I know it's on MeTV, so I'm going to check out an episode or two.
Yeah, I think it's on Hulu now. It used to be on Netflix. I think it's on Hulu now, or Amazon Prime for sure has
Oh.
it.
Did you
Nice.
buy that big box set, Brett, that has like the files and stuff in it?
Blu-ray. It's only available in Japan. I bought it on eBay, I think, for like $400. Like,
What region is it?
Damn.
I have a region free player, but I think you can still play. It might be region 1. I can't remember, but I have a region free player, so
You could play everything, yeah.
Nice.
400
Damn,
bucks?
dude. Why was it $400, dude? Just because it's hard to get out
it's
here?
only Japan. It's like rare. It's hard to. They never released it here on Blu-ray. It's been released on DVD. Like Universal's too cheap to release the Blu-ray of it. It's
What?
like anything else that hasn't been released on Blu-ray. They're idiots.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, like, does that have a big enough following now? Because most of the viewers are probably dead by now. So it's like, what's the point of investing all this money? Investing all this money in remastering and putting it out
But that
on
was such a
physical media.
popular show,
Right?
though. I remember it.
They just remastered it like 2 years ago, 3
Oh,
years
did they? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably like on Universal or like Peacock or something.
Gotcha.
Well, it's on Amazon Prime in HD. So
HD. Oh, okay.
yeah, so they have remastered it. It's just they haven't put it on Blu-ray.
It's
in the
coming
US.
back.
It's
You know who'd be great in a remake of this show would be Gilbert
Danny
Godfrey.
DeVito.
It's our
Danny
own
DeVito would be a good
inside joke.
detective.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
He just probably couldn't see over certain things. You
That's
know?
true.
Yeah.
He needed a little box or
you have to have a stepladder in his
Yeah.
car.
Yeah. All right. On that note, George, what about number 2 for you?
Number 2's already been mentioned. I believe it was by you, Billy, and that's Walter White from Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Yes.
Super iconic character. Yeah.
Ted's like, oh great, more spoilers.
I know. I'm trying to tread lightly here when I'm talking about it, but I don't want to.
You don't have to.
Oh,
You don't
yes.
have to.
Nice. Nicely done.
But yeah, this guy's awesome, man. Like, again, I think we've said enough about it.
Yeah, great character.
yeah, great character.
Heisenberg.
There's nobody
Say
else
my
I think that
name.
could play that role, right? I off the top of my head, I can't
Great.
think of
I mean, I
anybody.
think he won like 4 or 5 Emmys for that role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and
Well, you know, when you shave your head for a role, you usually win.
Yeah.
He was like the Susan Lucci for male actors,
Lucci Tucci.
or whatever her name was.
I really
Susan Lucci,
thought
right?
Susan
Cranston. I thought Cranston was going to win an Emmy for Malcolm in the Middle, and Jane Kaczmarek won. She's great. I mean, she's amazing in Malcolm in the Middle. But
He got nominated for that, right?
for what?
Malcolm in the Middle. For Malcolm in the Middle, he did get
He
nominated.
did. He
though?
did. Yeah, and
But
he didn't win.
He didn't win.
And then and he cleaned up with Breaking Bad. I mean,
Totally.
that show was just
They made up for it.
award
Yeah,
winner,
I would put him
multi-award
up there
winner.
with James Gandolfini and as Tony Soprano. They're like neck to neck for me. As
Yeah.
the
Well, speaking of top characters, let me see what I got for number 1.
Oh yeah.
Sopranos.
The 3 feet.
Wait, who's the character?
Tony Soprano. I mean, man. I
Nice.
like Brad was saying earlier. Like I've been watching episodes lately on HBO Max. Just I'll just do like a roulette where I'll just spin through and pick one. And I would love to do another plunge with The Sopranos. I just bought my mom like the box set because I think she would really enjoy it. But man, I love that show. I'm a huge anything about the mob. I love watching it.
It was
But
great.
this show just took on so many different levels and just so. I mean, like it's so great because we've talked about this before. Where like a 2-hour, 3-hour mob movie does not do justice to a season where you can have so many shows that delves into so many relationships, so many things. You just get so wrapped up in it. It was such a great watch. And this was at the time where HBO liked to do things like wait a whole year before a show came out.
Yes.
And then you had to wait longer for like a box set to come out because I didn't have HBO, I don't think, at the time. So I was like renting the DVDs where you get 3 episodes on a DVD and then you'd have to go back and be like, is episode 8 in? They're like, no, some dickhead hasn't brought it back yet. And you're like, oh no. So it was kind of frustrating to watch, but I mean, I finally finished it and man, I tell you, it was enjoyable watching. I know a lot of people weren't really happy with the last episode, but I don't know. I don't know what you want. You know, like that.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was good.
I thought it was fine.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
Fuck yeah.
And you just, you know, and
Can't make everybody
probably
happy.
we were talking about it earlier. You know, a lot of actors get typecast. I know Gandolfini did other stuff, but I mean, every time I saw him, I was like, "There's Tony Soprano."
Tony Soprano.
You know, I mean, that's just even. You know, he did good work. I mean, he was a good actor, and rest in peace.
Yeah.
But you know, he was always Tony Soprano, the role he was meant to play.
Mhm.
Do you think if he had died, do you think he would have revisited the character at this point? Or
I think possibly.
I think they were gonna
Maybe.
weren't they gonna make a movie like a made for HBO movie with them?
I think that was rumored.
Yeah, I think they were talking about it. Yeah.
like before he died?
Yeah.
I think they probably if they would have made a movie, they probably would have killed him. I mean, there's nothing else you can do.
No, at that
Yeah.
point, no. Yeah, I
No.
thought they did a great job
But
because the ending was great.
To see a movie made, like a one-shot deal, like just a special movie, to get a little more, because like you said, the finale was kind of like no one really knew what happened. There was never even
it was more left for your imagination. Like you can interpret it however you wanted to interpret the ending. Which is, it's a lot of people said it was a cop out, but I thought, come on, man, what more do you want? Like,
yeah, what do you want to see? I mean, do you really want to see exactly? You know, are we spoiling it? I don't know. Like,
it's 20 years old. I mean,
yeah, I mean, do you really want to see him get shot in the head? Like, to me, it was such a great.
Yeah.
You followed this guy for so long. It's like make up your own conclusion in your mind. Like that.
I was happy, man.
It sits with you. Like that's what I thought. Like it was cool. You get to go both ways of like, did it happen? Didn't it happen? Who came through the door when the bell rings? I don't know. It was awesome. I loved it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Very suspenseful ending.
Definitely. What do you call it? Made people talk. That's for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
And you know,
it's one of those.
It was one of those shows where it was every week. You know, you couldn't just binge it. You had to wait every Sunday, and it was like a big deal.
It
you
was. Know? This was before any binge watching. Before Netflix. Before
I think it was
Hulu.
like the first binge watching show from HBO.
Yeah,
sure.
It would come on once a week, and you had to wait. And just about every episode, not every episode, but just about every episode was a cliffhanger ending. So you'd be like, "Fuck, it's over." You had to wait a week.
Yeah.
I mean that's what I thought was kind of cool. It was like the water cooler kind of show. You know,
it
it's like
was.
you watch it on Sunday, and then the next day at work, everyone's that's you talk about it because everyone's on the same page.
True story.
But you know what? You show up to the water cooler like, hey, did you check out the fucking Sopranos this weekend? Hey, Bobby,
fucking
what you
great.
doing, man.
Forget about it.
Hey, fuck you, guy. Hey, what's up, gabagool?
Oh, no more water cooler talk.
Yeah, they're gonna shut us down. For
Yeah. All right, Brad. We're at number 1. Who you got?
Number 1,
Let's rock.
Ah, nice.
the best shoe salesman in TV history, Al Bundy, played by Ed O'Neill.
Nice.
I love him. I love that character. He's just a goofy, lovable, ordinary dude with extraordinary problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. We talked about, would you want to see a Seinfeld reunion or anything? If there's anything, like me personally, I know Ed O'Neill can play that character again. I would love to see like a mini movie or some kind of that show was a show that was unfortunately kind of just like drifted off and canceled by Fox. I know Ed O'Neill and who played Darcy? What's her name? That actress.
The one from
I
Fright
can't
Night.
remember.
Yeah.
She direct. Those last few years, she directed a lot of those episodes, and they like famously did not get along.
Yeah.
So
there was a rift between them for some weird reason.
yeah, there was and I think like Ed O'Neill was, allegedly unhappy towards the end of that show run, and it just kind of died out. So I don't know. I feel like it could use like a proper send off or something like one off
That'd be
episode.
cool.
Which is really
I'd
weird.
really be up for that.
Yeah. I'm surprised there hasn't been one because just it had such a fan base, and it was.
I think since he was on Modern Family for so long, he was tied to that ABC contract. I mean, now
yeah.
and
I forgot about that. You're right.
and Katie Siegel was on
Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah.
So
She was great on that. By
I
the
don't
way.
know.
I think their schedules were all. I didn't. Christina Applegate was on a sitcom like in the 2000s,
Right.
so
She still is.
So I feel like they could probably do it now.
Shit, David Faustino can use the money. I mean,
Yeah.
Amanda
Yeah.
Burke.
Come on,
what has he
Amanda
done?
Burst.
What has he done?
Yeah, I don't know. This is such a unique, just goofball, fun-loving character. Al Bundy, Ed O'Neill, number
Didn't
1.
you? You bought me a No Ma'am shirt. I think
I did. I do.
I still have that
Awesome.
No Ma'am shirt.
Awesome
Funny.
episode when
I
they're
mean-
in the garage and they're having the no man meeting with the guys.
I mean, I think it's something that like all like grown men can relate with.
Yeah.
Where these guys just want to go down in a basement, play cards with their friends,
Yep.
drink beers, talk about women, and they were the No Man group.
Yeah,
They would
and
go to strip clubs and
And it's funny because you
God, what
think because they're dudes, they'd like they'd be in the kitchen or they'd be in the living room. No, they were in the fucking garage and they're having their meeting in there. It's fucking hilarious.
And,
card night.
like Ted McGinley kind of has the stigma of like a jumping the shark kind of character,
Right.
but like I thought his Jefferson character was really funny.
Oh,
I
yeah,
agree.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought that Steve character was that great. He was
No.
kind of like
He
a
was just
stick in
kinda-
the mud.
he was just a little more dry. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
dry, but yeah,
Yeah, Jefferson. Like the when it got shitty was when they brought that kid on for a year, but they got him the hell out. Like,
Dude,
he was gone.
horrible.
Ed O'Neill said one day he just went up the steps and never came back down. Like he just disappeared. I think it
Wow.
was a dream sequence. They explained it.
Oh, how they
Yeah.
wrote it out.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was terrible. Do you remember? You remember Cheech Marin was the dog voice of the dog?
Yeah.
Like I think in the earlier seasons.
Mhm.
I think one of the best episodes is the one where Sam Kinison is like the ghost of Christmas Past.
Oh,
my yeah.
that was a good
I love that episode.
Yeah, that's
hilarious.
awesome.
That was a great
Yeah.
I
time.
love the one where like Buck would actually be like a walking dog, like looked like a human. It was a dude in a dog outfit.
yeah,
And he talked to Al. Like, I think it's the one where Buck's gonna get neutered or something. It's like so like it was so stupid, but it was hilarious at the same time.
What in the earlier seasons, they'd come down the stairs and then the audience would just clap or whatever when
Yeah.
thing come down.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And Kelly,
I mean, like whenever he came in the door from work, everybody like applauded. It was
Yeah.
like a huge
it was
thing.
great.
Yeah.
Kelly
It was a
Bundy
rock- it
would
was
come
like a-
down.
He was a rock star.
Kelly Bundy would come down.
Remember-
And there'd be
I loved-
whistles.
Do you remember like it wasn't in every episode, obviously, but like every once in a while they do it where like Psycho Dad came on.
Psycho Dad! Yes.
I loved when he would sing the theme of Psycho Dad.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best.
It's a great show, man.
just when they would play montages, we talked about this. A Bad to the Bone. Like, oh my god, it was so great.
Do you remember the one where they played the? It was a ZZ Top song. I can't remember which song it was.
They might have come on the show, didn't they? I can't remember. Did they come on the show?
They might have been. I don't know if it was the same episode I'm thinking of, but there's a episode where they're doing a montage with Al, and he's trying to find like sunglasses that look cool on him. They're playing like a ZZ Top song. It's like it's so cheesy but hilarious.
I know that Anthrax was on an episode.
Yep, I remember that.
The shaved head dude? What's his name?
Yeah,
Scott.
Scott Ian. Yeah.
I think
What were you saying, George?
Matt LeBlanc wasn't he on that show?
Yeah, they did They did a spinoff
Yeah,
with him
he
and his
was-
dad.
he
From
was
Married with Children.
Kelly's boyfriend for like half a season or something like that.
Funny.
And they did a spin. Yeah, you're right. They did a spin-off with him and his dad, but it never
That's-
went anywhere.
That's
The
one of my
dude from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and what's his name? The guy from David. He was on there a couple times as Kelly's boyfriend too. The guy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer
What?
and Angel.
Yeah, I forget his name. You said David something. I can't
David something.
Boreans or
remember.
yeah, something like that. He was on there too.
Weird
Yeah.
last name.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Joey Lauren Adams was on there as
Yep,
Bud's
yep.
girlfriend at one point. I mean, a lot of people got their start on that show.
Yeah.
It's the 90s.
King Kong Bundy was on there one time.
Oh my god.
I mean, just so many good episodes. There's so many like memorable episodes. It's such an iconic character,
Yeah.
and I had him on my list too. By the way, I had him on my list.
Great theme song.
Yeah.
I love when Sinatra would start off that show.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the best, dude.
All right, Ted. Number one. It's do or die time. Who you got?
My number one is
Uh-oh.
James Tiberius Kirk. Captain Kirk from Star Trek.
Who?
Star Wars?
Who said who? Who said who?
Who dis?
I don't even know what character you're talking about.
Captain Kirk. You know very well. Iconic character, William Shatner. Played Captain Kirk for 3 seasons on the original and many times after that in movies. Love this role. Just an amazing captain.
Yeah. You can't think
Probably
of,
my favorite captain.
Yeah, you can't
when it
think
comes
of-
An
out.
amazing Kirk.
Probably my favorite Kirk. Just kidding.
Better than
Not Kirk Cameron.
I was just gonna say that. Kirk Cameron. What about Kirk Cameron?
Sure.
But what do you guys think of Captain Kirk?
Well, you can't think of Star Trek without thinking of Captain Kirk.
He's alright.
I was never a big Star Trek fan.
He's alright.
I will say that I have not seen Star Trek, but I am very. If I go back and watch them, I want to watch them all
Yeah. That original
because I
series
think they'd be a lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ted knows how I really feel. Obviously,
I
love
know.
Star Trek.
Well,
I know.
tell us how you feel, Brett. 'Cause
Darth-
we don't know.
I'm playing it off right now.
Yeah.
What?
How many
He's playing it off.
seasons was Star Trek?
3,
3 seasons.
How many episodes?
80, 79 or 80.
Jesus.
Okay, that's doable. That's doable.
Yeah, that's a
They're-
lot.
What, are they 30 minutes or an hour?
1 hour.
They're 1
Okay.
hours, but I can't say all of them are, great because some of them are just like middle of the road. But there are some really standout ones, and I would say my favorite Captain Kirk episode is. Take a guess, Brett.
The Tribbles.
I was just going to ask. I'm going to guess.
Your first guess.
Well, where you going
Your
to get a
first
driver's
guess.
license?
say right now. It's too obvious, probably, but I'm just going to
Say
guess
it.
it. City
Say
on the
it.
Edge of Forever.
No, it's Arena where he
Enemy-
faces the Gorn, and
Oh, yeah, Arena.
which is shot at Vasquez Rocks.
That's my favorite episode.
So my favorite episode, he's kind of put down on this planet to fight this alien, and he can't leave. And
Was it Planet Uranus?
close?
Do they battle to the death?
They battle to the death. It's great. It's a great episode, and he uses
Nice.
his wits to outsmart this unstoppable alien. It's pretty amazing. I
My
won't
cat
give you
just
any.
jumped out the window.
My cat.
But my number
Nice.
one is Captain Kirk. It had a lot of influence on my life. I loved watching Star Trek, back in the day, and definitely, has a rich cast of characters, but it always goes back to Captain Kirk.
So let me ask you a question. Why not Spock?
Another great character, but I feel the pivotal role was always Kirk. I
He's the
love Spock.
captain.
Yeah, again,
He got all the ladies.
again, if you had asked me who my favorite character was when I was 7 years old, I would have totally said Spock.
Okay.
Yeah.
A very interesting character, but Kirk has something, dynamic and it's just a dynamic, great character.
And even like Shatner, a guy who, he carried that kind of like the way he spoke as Kirk, he carried that on in his acting career, and it didn't really hurt him. He was T.J. Hooker, and he was in a bunch of other stuff, and like he's always just kind of been like an entity. He's like it's Shatner, So it didn't really hurt his career being on that show.
I think later in life he's really embraced. I think for a while that I could be wrong, but I feel like I've heard for early on he, all the Trekkies bothered him, and then now he's just kind of embraced that whole fandom.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you guys try to get like an autograph, and you didn't want to approach him because you were frightened of him?
That was Brett. Yeah, me and Brett went to Cactus, and we saw William Shatner, and Brett was like starstruck.
Respect.
No,
That's what it was about.
Starstruck. It was more like.
Yes, you were. No, Brett.
Like Ted said, I didn't want to bother him. Like I had too much respect for him. I'm like, I'm not going to bother this guy.
No, he was like in sweats and like ordering like 10 tacos and shit.
You should have went into him and said, "Hey, man, I'm a huge TJ."
I told Brett, I go, "Hey, dude, I'll go up there and ask him for you if you want."
Twilight Zone. I love that Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, I even told Brett, I'll go up there for you, Brett, and I'll go talk to him. And Brett was like, "No, please don't."
Honest truth right now, why I didn't like?
I had to change your diapers, dude. I had to change your diapers, Brett. Remember?
There's actually a real good reason why.
Okay, go.
You've heard, like, we've all heard too many stories where like super.
You don't want to meet your heroes.
Fans that meet like someone they really look up to, or that they really like, they just love, whether it's an actor or whatever. And something happens where like the person's an a-hole, or
you get disappointed.
It
I could see that.
It changed how they do. I didn't want that to happen. I'm not saying that would happen.
Right.
I just didn't want to take that chance.
I get that. I get that. It can skew your view on their work now.
Yeah.
That'd be awkward.
He seemed like he was fun. He was having fun with the guy behind the counter. They were joking around, and that's when I told Brett, "Oh, dude, look, it's Captain Kirk, bro. You want me to talk to him?"
Yeah.
Well, we have a different mindset. Our mindset is that's television royalty to us. I mean, that's my number one TV iconic character.
I gotcha.
That dude. I will say this: that dude loves Mexican food. You saw him at Cactus.
Yeah.
Billy and I saw him at a Mexican restaurant named Tequila.
Tequila, yeah.
He was behind us at the table. I was like, "Well, dude, there's Shatner again." I saw him at ArcLight one time, walking out with a book
and a burrito. He had a burrito in his hand.
He had a burrito under his arm.
Yeah,
probably.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to
that burrito boldly went where no one ever wanted to go before.
Oh. All right, Brad. Who you got for number one? Is there a repeat over here?
I think there is.
Well, yes, there is.
I knew it.
Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
What's that?
The struggle is real.
Well,
I was trying to play it off, but there is. My number one is Captain James.
I knew it.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I was trying to play it off when Ted said. I was like, "Damn it!" Like,
can you? Hey, Brett. I know you're good at some impersonation. Can you do the cadence of his voice?
let me try. Hold on. I don't know if I can do him. Wait. I don't think I can. I'm trying to think of a dialogue. Feed me a line. I don't know.
I have to go to the bathroom.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Mr. Spock, how far away are we till the neural neutralizer? I know I can't do it really.
Next.
You know how many women just left California?
Everybody just
tuned out the podcast. You know what? I think I can do William Shatner's actual voice more than I can Captain Kirk. If that makes any sense.
How about all of us go around in a circle and do Shatner impressions real quick?
Okay.
I'll start.
Give us a line.
Yeah, give me what line?
What's a famous what's a famous line he does in Star Trek?
In Star Trek?
Get to the time porter teleporter.
Transporter.
Just say Kirk out. I don't know.
We'll say Spock.
Enterprise.
Get to the teleporter. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Ready? Here, I'll start.
Go.
Spock, get to the teleporter. Brad.
Spock, get to the teleporter.
All right. Ted.
Spock, get to the teleporter.
That's good. All right, Brett.
Spock, get us to the teleporter.
Ooh, that was
All right,
Not
George.
bad. We're getting better.
Spock, get us to the teleporter.
Damn, there were some good ones in there.
Yeah.
Definitely not me.
Me either.
Good ones. All right.
Oh, that was good.
This podcast is like 5 hours, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Woo.
All right. All right. Go ahead, Brett. What do you got on Spock? Whoever. Kirk.
I mean, not much else to add. To me, it's like obviously iconic. It's Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say Spock could easily be in that same slot too. Probably. I mean, the there you go.
Oh, very handsome.
And I do feel like both characters were at their peak when they were on screen together. Like if you took away Spock, Captain Kirk maybe wasn't quite as good. If you took away Captain Kirk from Spock, maybe he wasn't quite as good on his own. But
I
Captain
agree.
Kirk, I mean, just as far as like main characters go for like an action, sci-fi, whatever genre, that type of genre, adventure action. To me, Captain Kirk was like the epitome of like the leading, like take charge kind of like character that
Yep.
leads, his crew.
Yeah.
And so many good moments. I don't know. I love that show so much. There's a lot of. I don't know if I can name like my favorite like Captain Kirk.
Hmm.
I don't
No,
really,
you don't have to.
I don't really follow.
Please don't.
I don't follow those movies or anything. But do you ever foresee him playing that character again at some point, like in a movie or some kind of? I don't know.
No, I don't think it would have
It'll
happened.
Yeah.
It'll
I
probably
think
be
they've
like a
moved on.
DirecTV commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll
Exactly.
reprise playing Captain Kirk again.
He'll probably do it when he's ordering Mexican food next time.
Oh, shit.
Can I get a burrito?
Can I
Carne
get
asada.
an al pastor?
Ted mentioned his favorite episode, Arena. That's my favorite episode. But I think maybe another favorite Captain Kirk moment would be, and it's not a good episode, but the finale of the show, Turnabout Intruder, where they switch bodies.
Mm.
He switches bodies with a female, another woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the woman has Captain Kirk's persona inside it, and then Captain Kirk has this woman's persona inside her. And it's like a really fun episode to
It
watch.
is.
does
It's
he
a
dress
fun
in
one.
drag or is it just?
No, it's Captain
no, he
Kirk.
switches bodies.
Oh.
It's William Shatner, but their mind switch.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
not like Eddie Murphy where he plays a girl or like a woman. So
No.
Okay.
But if you are entertained by William Shatner's over the top acting in that show,
That-
then that
okay.
episode is.
Who was the
Oh,
actress?
dude, I bet that's
Who was that actress? again?
Gold.
I think if I was on a desert island and like a DVD player washed up along with box sets of Star Trek, I think I would just kill myself.
You just send it back out.
dude.
Well, plus I would have nowhere to plug it in. So there you go.
It's solar powered.
Oh, I'd still die. I'd still kill myself. I would marry a banana and kill myself. George, number one.
My number one has already been said by Sir Brad, and it's Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Wow.
To Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that character, man.
Me too.
That was, to me, that was like it helped launch Fox. It like gave them their big show or whatever. I know that Tracy Ullman did first or whatever. It was one of the first shows on Fox, but whatever. To me, Married with Children was one of the best shows. I looked forward to seeing that show.
Wow.
Plus, I had a crush on Christina Applegate at the time.
Who didn't?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
You say you had a crush on Al Bundy. I was like, what?
Oh,
I loved me
He
some Al
does.
Bundy, especially
That's
when he
his
would
second one.
He would grab the girl's foot and put the shoe on. I'd be like, oh.
Oh,
Anyway, so yeah, Al Bundy.
I feel like that show had something for everyone. Like now we can relate to Al Bundy, but like at the time, like our dads could relate to Al Bundy.
Yes,
like they had the
man.
young Bud Bundy who was like a rapper who'd wear Raiders jackets,
Yep.
and like the hot Christina Applegate.
And Katie Seagal, who just didn't give a shit. She was just about taking
Yeah.
Al's
Oh,
money.
she's great.
And
Dude,
buying
hot
clothes.
too.
And
Yeah, she was.
They-
She'd just
she'd go-
file her nails and spend all his money.
she'd go out and buy like steak dinners, and they're eating steak, and then Al would come home, and there wasn't shit left for him. It was awesome.
Katie Seagal, who also sang backup for Tina Turner. She's a great singer.
Oh
Nice.
wow, I
She
didn't know
really?
that.
Fun fact.
Yep, she's a really good singer.
Did you
She
know
was
that?
also on Sons of Anarchy.
She was
Did
great
you know
on
that?
Sons of Anarchy. I watched Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
She was great on that. Definitely.
You know who else was on Sons of Anarchy? Adrian Barbeau.
What were we saying, Brett?
I was going to say, did you know this about Katie Seagal? Her dad was a director and directed an episode of Columbo.
Oh,
Wow.
She's in it.
Full circle.
Oh, she's in it.
Full
There
circle.
you go. Nepotism, Hollywood. Go figure.
Hulu.
All right, honorable mentions. Kramer, that was said. Ralph Cramden was said. Sam Malone from Cheers. Eric Cartman, South Park.
Nice.
No one said the Fonz. I thought I'm not a huge Happy Days fan, but that's an iconic.
He was on.
figure.
He was
For sure.
I'm gonna be honest here. He was number 5 on my list, but I flopped him for Tony Soprano. But yeah, he was on my list originally.
I have the shark from Happy Days on my list.
Oh shit.
Brad said Leon. I would also say Omar from The Wire.
Oh, nice.
Alf. We talked about Alf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Saul Goodman. Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. I mean,
Yeah.
We got walkers.
Kenny Powers. He's bound and down. Dan Fielding from Night Court. I love Dan Fielding.
Nice.
I thought he was the
Great.
best part about Night Court.
Great.
Buck Rogers. Loved the Buck Rogers show. Fred Sanford.
Yes.
Sanford.
Sanford.
Mort,
Good job.
Robin
Wow.
Williams. That was a great character.
Mort.
Yeah.
From Mort.
B.A. Baracus from A-Team. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, Mr. T.
Mr. T.
Bob Areno from Welcome Back, Carter.
Yeah.
And the one that almost made my list.
Good.
Bill Bixby's character, David
Oh,
Banner from
my
The Incredible
God.
Hulk.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome,
Love
dude.
it.
You won't
Almost
like me
made my
when
list.
I'm mad.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Brad, who you got?
Right.
Yes. Sorry.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
From Dukes of Hazzard. Jack Tripper, Mr. Furley, Newman, Saul Goodman, Kim Wexler, Gus Fring, Frank Costanza, I mentioned him, Mike from Breaking Bad, Jack Bauer from 24,
Yes.
Russ Cole from True Detective Season 1, Matthew McConaughey, Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development, Eric Taylor from Friday Night Lights, and I don't know, a lot that Billy said. There's too many. There's so much
a
TV.
Too much. Too much.
All right, Ted.
I got Rerun from What's
Oh,
Happening.
wow.
Wow, you
Holy
went way
crap.
I
back.
got Lucy.
Also, probably, and they were talking about it on Twitter the other day, probably one of the best opening sequences for a TV show
Yes.
ever.
Yes.
Oh,
That
yeah.
opening sequence of what's happening now is awesome.
It's bouncing the basketball, right?
Yep.
I think it is, yeah. There was a couple.
Yeah. No, that was it.
Lucy.
I think the bouncing basketball was the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucy Ricardo. A lot
on
of these.
my
men.
list.
Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
A bunch of those. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Mary Tyler Moore. We've also got Shazam. And that's what I got. That's what I got.
All right, George. Brett, who you got?
Did
Man,
Ted say
I look-
Captain Kirk?
My list is so long. I'm cutting out. You guys, I'm not going to do any repeats, but there's still a lot. Mulder and Scully, The X-Files, James West and Artemis Gordon, Wild Wild West, Daryl Dixon, Walking Dead, Helen and Stanley Roper, Three's Company,
Nice.
Reverend Jim, Louis De Palma, and Latka Gravas from Taxi, Huggy Bear,
Thank you
Starsky
very
and Hutch, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Next Generation, Cookie Monster and Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street,
What?
Nice.
Samuel Screech Powers, Saved by the Bell.
Oh my God! Yes.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Yep. Jim Rockford, Rockford Files, Lucas McCain, The Rifleman, Rowdy Yates, Clint Eastwood and Rawhide, Perry Mason, Michael Scott, Dwight Schrute from The Office, Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec,
Nice.
Lieutenant Andy Sipowicz from NYPD Blue, Kermit and Miss Piggy, The Muppet Show, Herman Munster, The Munsters,
Yes.
That's a
Ricardo,
good one. That's a good one.
Sonny Crockett, Miami Vice, Hawkeye Pierce from MASH, Thomas
Man.
Magnum, Magnum PI, Don Draper, Mad Men, Sawyer from Lost, Lenny Briscoe, Law and Order, Theo Kojak, Michael Knight and Kit from Knight Rider,
Oh, wow.
George and Wheezy from The Jeffersons, Barney Stinson, How I Met Your Mother, Tim the Toolman Taylor, Home Improvement, Marshall Matt Dillon, Gunsmoke, JJ Dynamite Evans, Good Times,
Dynamite!
Good times.
Sophia Ma Petrillo, Golden Girls,
Oh,
Chandler,
the Golden Girls.
yeah, Chandler, Joey, and Phoebe from Friends.
Okay.
It's all
Carlton
about
Banks
Rachel.
from Fresh Prince of
Jennifer
Bel-Air.
Aniston.
I got a few more. Mickey Rourke or Mr. Rourke and Tattoo, Fantasy Island.
The blame, the blame.
Mickey Rourke?
Yeah.
Is it Mickey Rourke?
Alex P. Keaton, Family Guy, Steve Urkel, Family Matters, Stewie and Peter Griffin from Family Guy, Luke and Bo Duke, Dukes of Hazzard, Doctor Who, the Doctor, Arnold Jackson, who'd you talk about, Willis? Different Strokes, Horatio Kane, CSI Miami, Poncherello, Ponch from Chips, Cliff Clavin, Fraser Crane, Woody Boyd from Cheers, Little Joe Cartwright from Bonanza, Dylan McKay, 90210, Beverly Hills 90210,
Oh.
What?
CJ Parker from Baywatch, Pamela Anderson, Fish from Barney Miller, and Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith Show. Oh, Archie Bunker, All in the Family, and Morticia Adams, Family. That's it.
And we're out of time for the podcast. Thank you very much. Sorry, George.
That's okay. I've only
Time's
got two.
up.
I've got Will Smith and
That's
on
it.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I got David Hasselhoff for Knight Rider, and I'm done.
Hey, I forgot too. Herman Munster from the Munsters and Briscoe County Jr.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we covered it.
We covered
got
it,
all
all
the
right.
characters that are important and iconic in the world of TV. So if we left anything out, let us know. And I hope we entertained you tonight. So have a great week or weekend or night. And we'll see you next time.
If you heard Darth Brett's list, there's no way we left anybody out.
That's
I think,
No,
I think so.
no, I think you covered the whole
He
universe.
named every
Someone
character.
It's David Brent from The Office, obviously. But thanks for listening to the Five Dudes with Views podcast and having a laugh. Cheers.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the Five Dudes of Views podcast. Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Libsyn, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, and now YouTube. And while you're on there, be sure to download, rate, and subscribe. You can also check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Five Dudes Views, and we also are on Facebook. Everybody out there, stay safe. Until next time.